Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another permadeath episode. Huge developments happening on this. We're going to bring in a new rule by cycle 15, and that is we are not allowed to turn the birthing pods off on a drought. I've got to man up to this. I've got to work it out to get these beavers living without me having to turn stuff on and off to make sure they survive. And in order to do that, we need a lot of resources, and we need to start building pretty quickly. You can see this huge development in the middle. That's part of it. Those are all the water pumps that we're trying to build to go into reservoir 1, 2, and 3. And we have our underground tunnel that we built last time. And on this episode, we're going to focus on many trees. We're going to get as much resource started as we possibly can. The food district's coming on great. The metal district's coming on great. And we need to look at that power situation at the back there. With all of those water pumps starting up soon, we're not going to have enough power. Well, just before the drought, a normal thing happens to me. I realize pretty quickly that my reservoir is not storing water. In fact, it is losing water. And I notice again quite quickly there's a rather large hole in the side and water is pouring out 2 days before a drought. I still don't know where this water's coming from. I do block up the hole to try and get more water saved as quickly as I possibly can. But it doesn't seem to be getting any more water into Reservoir 2, and that's going to have to be something I deal with on the next one. But I keep making these same mistakes where I leave massive holes in the edge of the reservoir doing these crazy designs. And the beavers just aren't creating enough resource to build as quickly as I am. I'm taking my eye off it because I'm trying to move the development as fast as I can. But we plug this hole up and we have to accept that we're going into a drought of unknown time period and no idea what's going to happen there. So stay tuned for that and see if I manage to make it through this drought period. Well, there's not much I can do about it. It's another stupid mistake that I've made. This is the third time I've drained out the reservoir. So let's kind of quickly move past this mistake and on to some more interesting developments within the colony. And that is trying to get resource. And immediately we're hit with a 75-day drought with half the water gone from Reservoir 2. We have 9,000 stored because they have started to build some of the water storage and we've got more water pumps. But food, look at food, it's only 1,000 stored and we've got like over 200 beavers. It's not enough. They weren't going to survive. And that's why I thought we're not going to do the turn the pod off rule immediately. We're going to kind of come back to that one later on cycle 15. I think it's fair to do. I would be really upset at this stage if I destroyed and killed these beavers quickly because we've got a lot to build and some of it's going to look really cool, and there are a few experiments happening in this series, so even if they die we might just decide to run this simulation in the background. But we haven't died yet. Let's stay positive on it and look at how we're going to get more forest. We need a lot more forest. So we're going to create an aqueduct bridge across this land, and the water is going to come through here at the next season, and we're going to basically irrigate this land, and we're going to put some trees and foresters in there to get as much wood as we possibly can. See, wood is pretty much the main thing that has a problem. Sure, metal blocks are an issue, but that's going to be resolved very quickly when our metal district comes online, but it won't come online if we don't have logs and planks to be able to build all of the stuff. And that's where I've been falling over. I've been falling over just because there's not enough logs being grown because they take 30 days. I'm obsessed with doing the oak trees. They take 30 days. Yes, you get 8 logs out of them, but we have this like massive lull in the middle, and I need to get ahead of that. And the only way to do it is to plant a lot of trees. We take some farmland and change it into oak trees because of the food district coming online. We're taking advantage of this area here as well. And at the back of the reservoirs where there's not really much happening, it's a bit of a wasted land at the moment. So we're going to use that for more oak trees as well. And hopefully that solves the problem. I noticed doing the oak trees that the beavers have made a lot of dynamite, and one of the things holding us back a little bit is the power. I'm making all of these pumps to get water into the reservoirs as quickly as I can, but we know for a fact we do not have enough power. I think there's only an 800 spare when it's all working. And certainly when it's like this in a drought, there is no water anyway, so that's not much of a problem. But when there's a sort of bad tide, we can still run the power station, which is going to run all of the metal factories and everything else. So it's important that we get to it, and that kind of leads me nicely onto it. We blow up all of the dynamite. One of the rules is a permadeath rule. If I kill a beaver in it, that's the end of the game. So I make sure people are all safe the away. And we start to create that U-turn. And that U-turn brings all of the bad water down towards the colony again. And then it U-turns again at the end and runs all the way back out and disappears off the map. And that's a huge advantage to be able to use the river like this and just have these power wheels working. This faction can have engines, but you need logs to run them. We don't have enough logs as it is, so you would only get a very small amount of power before we run out of trees, and we need the trees for building. And as I was doing this design, I started out with the wheels and doing the same design that I always do, and I kind of came to a conclusion. It's kind of like a brainwave that it looks like these wheels need the power to run off the right-hand side of the wheel. But actually how it works is the center of the wheel can connect to other wheels and move the power. So while I'm doing all of this work, making tunnels and working on the power chain on the other side, I realize actually I can save a lot of space by just connecting those power wheels together. And that's what we did. We deleted the ones that we'd made on the side, and then we started putting the wheels in a straight line down. And that shot there is going to be amazing when those things are running. You can just see it's just much cleaner. We can't do it on the other side, but it's a real space saver running down there. We only need one bit of land rather than three. So that was a new design that I've never tried before that works quite well. We've got to let them build. We've got to let them blow up some pieces to kind of finish that off. But that power solution down there is going to be incredible. And this is normally where I'd end the highlight video. What I do on the long video is I leave this shot like this live, and I run it for what's going to be another 43 days. And on the beginning of a long video, I play that whole thing. But I'm going to end this one a little bit differently. This is the end. You can see that there's 4 days left, and I also started to notice a lot of icons above our beavers' heads that they were hungry, and then the messages started on the top left: starved to death, and more starved to death, and more starved to death. I'm thinking, but I've got loads of food. Why are they all starving to death? And then I remembered that the metal district is active. So they were taking food to the metal district. And when I click on this district, there is no food left in it. So I had to quickly migrate all of the beavers from Pineappleton and send them across to Metal District and just watch that food go down. They were so hungry, and it's not saving all of them. They're all dying of starvation, and it's pretty miserable. I nearly destroyed the colony and created a permadeath situation. For the fact is, every one of these beavers in this colony would have died of starvation if I hadn't have noticed it. I also put the water pumps working as well in the land earlier because I knew they were going to run out of food, and it's a massive problem. Water is obviously a problem, but keeping 200 beavers alive, it seems, with the amount of food that we have, is just not possible. We really need to step up the game. Certainly if I'm going to not turn off the birthing pods in 15, I'm even thinking of creating a split episode for 15 and run the permadeath rule on the pods. And if I die, I will say I've died, and we will do a restart from that and turn the pods off again. Just because I think it would be a shame to take this experiment that we've done so far and die because of a rule that we didn't bring in. But I definitely think in the future, when we do one of these again, the map will be smaller. I might even build my own permadeath map actually to run the rules. But until that happens, stay safe and see you in the next one.